So do you think that, how there's the debate out there, I guess, about competitive shooting, and then if you want to be a defensive shooter, that you shouldn't shoot competition, then others think vice versa. So what is your opinion about, does shooting in competitively help you defensively?
Sure, absolutely. So let me preface this with at one point in my life I was very anti competitive shooting because I
Really?
was that guy 100%. Coming out of the military and the circles I was running in, especially within executive protection and the tactical shooting community,
Yeah.
uh, competitive shooting was a huge no-no,
Hmm.
and to the point where, looking back now, it was so silly. Like, you guys even shot a competition before? Why are we? Maybe we should just look at this, because we
Mhm.
all can. At least I can remember being a kid, and randomly on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m., ESPN would have some shooting show on it, and you're like, oh, these guys are going so fast, and that looks so cool, and that's competitive shooting. Now, uh, I think if you are not competing as a defensive shooter, you are leaving a lot on the table that
Mm.
you really should get into competitive shooting. And I can tell you the moment it happened. Um, I I was in Chicago, yeah, Chicago, um, in between jobs, and I was at home and I found a USPSA match, and I was like, "Well, I'm gonna go shoot this USPSA match. I'll probably win because I'm a tactical shooter and I'm real good. So I'm the best shooter I know. So clearly I'm gonna go home with something."
Oh
Um,
boy.
yeah, and I was wrong. you know, uh, I make this joke all the time, but it's true. Here I showed up, a guy, out of the military with combat experience in a field where I carry a gun for a living, and a dentist whooped me like there was no tomorrow,
Oh boy.
like I had never even touched a gun before, and
Really?
oh, absolutely, and it wasn't just the
Humble
dentist.
pie.
Oh,
You got a piece of
absolutely.
humble pie. Yeah.
Big time,
We've all
big
done
time.
that from time to
It was
time.
it was the shipping clerk and the dentist and the guy that works at Target and this and that and you know everyone. And I'm like, I do this for a living, and I am not nearly as good as these people.
Hmm.
Which kind of brings us to the defining moment in most people's uh, shooting, which happens right at that moment, the point where we can decide to let our ego take over and never go back and shoot against those people again because it's just competition, right?
Mhm.
And I play for keeps and all that stuff. Or we can put our ego aside, understand that there might be skills that these people possess that will make us better at everything else we do with a gun. So maybe we should try and figure that out. And that, luckily, is the route I took. Um, and it led me into, at the time I had really plateaued as a shooter. I could not seem to get better no matter how many rounds I threw down range. No matter how many classes I went to, I just wasn't getting better, and I couldn't figure it out. At the time, I must have shot 40,000 rounds a year just of pistol and did not get any better. Um,
Hmm.
and when I found competitive shooting, I had actual things I could see and transfer the information and follow and chase that were completely contrary or completely different than everything I had done in the past.
Mhm.
And it took my shooting to just a completely different level. Um, and I would encourage anyone that's serious about, defensive use of a firearm to get into some competition. It doesn't have to be USPSA. That's just my preferred sport. It can be
Mhm.
IDPA. It can be, outlaw matches. It can be three gun. I don't care what it is, but the benefits of competition are just I can't sing its praises enough. You know,
Yeah.
from just putting yourself under that stress, and it's social stress. It's not mortal stress, but hey, your
Right.
body really doesn't know the difference between the two. Um,
Right.
you know, we hear this all the time. Oh, I completely forgot what I was doing the minute the timer went off.
Yep.
Oh, but gunshots won't affect you. Sure. Why would that be any different? You know, our body
Right.
just doesn't understand it. Um,
Right.
so it's fantastic, and I try and incorporate that a lot into, you know, into my classes as well, and into my teaching. There's stuff in my classes that are, you know, at the end of the day, shooting is shooting, whether it's competitive shooting or tactical oriented or combative oriented shooting. Shooting is shooting. It's about
Mhm.
mechanics.
Mhm.
It's about mechanics, and then there's processing, right? There is
Mhm.
mental processing that has to happen on both ends. uh, you will get better at mental processing by shooting competitively, because despite what everyone thinks, uh, even though you get to walk a stage plan, which in the military we used to call rehearsals, apparently everyone forgot about those. Um, but uh, you know, you have to adapt on the fly constantly in
Mhm.
competitive shooting. You know, a piece of steel didn't fall. You miss a shot and you have to re-engage a target, which now throws your entire load plan on. You are
Right.
constantly processing information at speed. And
Mhm.
you know how you get better at processing information at speed? You do it a lot
Mhm.
and over and
Mhm.
over and over again. So, which helps your decision making processes all around. So yeah, huge benefits. I'm not sure if I answered the question,
I
but
love it.